all, it's your girl Tiffany, Madam Luscious Black Beauty, your poetic psychic Pisces, High Priestess. I am here tonight for another one of my missing mysteries. Oh, y'all. This is a hard one, but not for the reason that you think it's hard. I really kind of went back and forth with whether I should do this or not. So I just want to be clear. I am doing this to give the FBI, law enforcement, and individuals who are putting time and effort into this case some closure, to give you all the truth. I went, like I said, I went back and forth about this because there's some good news to this situation, but the little piece of bad news to the situation could cause individuals to be in trouble because of it. But in fact, excuse me, y'all, sorry about that. But in fact, there's actually good news to the situation. Tonight's missing mystery is going to be about Dulce Maria Alavez. I believe is how you pronounce her name correctly. She has been missing 2 years this month, just a few days ago. And it's really crazy because it wasn't until I was drawn to her. So, like, usually the cases that I choose, they come to me. I let my spirit guides lead me to who, what cases to look into and what to do readings about and everything. So I looked at her and several different times on the FBI's website of missing people, and I ended up doing, so I've been looking at her like the last 3-4 readings I've done. And I said I was going to come back to it. And so I seen her, so you can see the pictures of all the individuals, but it's not until you click on a thing that you get like whatever information they're going to give about each person. So I actually did not know that the anniversary was coming up of her being missing for 2 years. And for some reason, when I went on there today and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to work today, what I'm going to do, she was the first person I seen again, because she's really at the top of the list. She's like like the first 2 people or first 3 people that's on the FBI list. And I have been seeing her every time I go on there. I see her all the time, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna come back to it. So I ended up being drawn to somebody else. So my spirit guides was drawn. I was drawn to her today. It's like I said, the anniversary, the 2 year, and I guess Spirit did this because the anniversary was coming up for 2 years that she has been missing now. So I said, you know what? Once I said I'm being steady drawn to her. I'm steady seeing her. My spirit guides are pulling me to her. So I clicked on the picture and I seen the details, and that's when I realized that she was taken this month 2 years ago. And I'm like, this is why, my spirit guides had me to wait until now to do it. So I'm doing this reading for Dulce today. There is, this video is going to be a little bit more upbeat than the other videos because there's a lot of good to this reading. It really is. And I know somebody is sitting back like, this girl is missing. How can there be a lot of good? Compared to the readings I've done before and the things that I know and what has been done and happened to other people that I know, trust me when I say, you'll realize in a minute what I mean by there's a very good reading behind this situation. But there's a small percentage of bad, and it's around why she came up missing. That's going to be the shocker. And that's the very thing that is going to cause may cause the people involved some trouble. And I'm going to explain to you more why this was hard for me. And I went back and forth if I should just leave well enough alone and not do it, because I get it. I'm a very open-minded person. I get it, okay? And so I understand the situation more in depth than people on the outside looking in. Most people on the outside looking in, especially the authorities, is like, what are you talking about, Tiffany? This is a little girl. She went missing when she was 5. Are you crazy? Are you freaking out of your mind? I'm going to tell you what I mean in just a minute. I just wanted to give you all this disclaimer at the beginning, because I just decided I was going to go ahead and do it because I want to give law enforcement closure that is still working on this case, that still has man hours being put into this case. I can solve this for you. And so I'm doing this for you all. And notice I said the authorities that is involved in this and not the parents. And I will explain that in just a second. Okay, guys. So without any further ado, I want you to see this clip here, and then we're going to get right into this video. Or excuse me, right into the reading. I apologize.
Tomorrow will mark 2 years since the disappearance of Dulce Maria Alavez. As we reflect on the little girl's life, police in Cumberland County released an image of what she may look like today. Action News reporter Dan Cuellar has that, also reaction from the missing girl's family.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children compiled this age progression image of what they believe Dulce Maria Alavez looks like now, 2 years after her disappearance.
We feel that represents the best picture that could go out there based on what she may look like now.
The child, who was 5 years old at the time, is believed to have been abducted from Bridgeton Park while playing with her then 3-year-old brother Manuel while her mother was in the car on September 16 of 2019. We asked the mother today what she thought of the image.
To be honest, that doesn't look nothing like Dulce. I don't think that her face would have changed a lot.
We also showed the image to the child's grandmother.
Well, I give thanks to the authorities, but that doesn't look anything like my granddaughter.
Back on April 25th, on the little girl's birthday, her father, Edgar Perez, who was deported and lives in Mexico, posted a video of her taken before she disappeared on YouTube. He sang a song wishing her a happy birthday. He said he had nothing to do with her disappearance and has no idea where she is, but believed she would be found soon.
Do you think he had something to do with her disappearance?
To be honest, I don't know, because I haven't seen them. I haven't talked to them.
Is there someone you suspect?
To be honest, no.
For the record, police have never named the father or anyone else a suspect.
Has anyone been ruled out in this case?
No, nobody's been ruled out in this case.
With the second anniversary approaching, the mother says everything is repeating itself in her head about the day she disappeared. And though she can't explain why, both she and the grandmother believe Dulce is still alive somewhere.
You think they're going to find her soon?
Yes, I know police are not going to give up on my daughter. I appreciate everything what everyone's doing for my daughter.
Authorities continue to offer a $75,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Anyone with information is being asked to call police or the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. In Bridgeton, I'm Dan Cuellar, Channel 6 Action News.
Okay, guys. Well, that concluded the video about Dulce.
Releasing new It Takes.
Sorry about that, guys. Give me just a minute, and we're gonna get into this reading. Okay, you all. So, like I said, this reading is going to be for Dulce Maria Alavez. She's been missing since September the 16th of 2019. Her date of birth is April 25th, 2014. So she went missing when she was 5 years old, so she would be 7 on today. I was going to say her birthplace, but it's probably more like where they lived at the time was Bridgeton, New Jersey. Her race is considered to be white Hispanic. Her height is approximately 3 foot tall. That was at the time of her disappearance. Her weight was approximately 60 to 70 pounds. Again, that was at the time of her disappearance. She is female. She has no known scars or bruises or marks on her body. Her hair is long and brown, and her eyes are brown. Okay. So just a few remarks pertaining to this situation. Dulce was last seen wearing a yellow shirt with a koala bear on the front of it. She had on black and white pants with butterflies and flowers on them, and she also had on white dress sandals. Now the situation details are as follows. Dulce Maria Alavez, age 5, was last seen on the afternoon of Monday, September 16th, 2019, while playing at Bridgeton City Park behind Bridgeton High School in Bridgeton, New Jersey. Meanwhile, her mother was sitting in her car. Okay, and Dulce was said to be playing with her 3-year-old, I believe, brother at the little playground area during this time as well. Okay, so number one, okay, I'm going to start off with my red flags that I have for this situation. That was a lot of red flags. I'm going to point some things out to you all before I get into the spirit reading that I did for her. Number one red flag, I asked, who was responsible for watching or attending to her? Because when I first read, before I seen this clip, when I first read over the case, it did not specify who was the parent, the guardian who was watching over her at the time. I now know it was the mother. But and so red flag number 2 was, why was she left alone? Okay. And I now know that she was playing with her 3-year-old brother on the playground. Red flag number 3 was, why wasn't the guardian, the parent, paying close attention to her? So the problem that I have, and then red flag number 4 is, if she was on the playground playing with her 3-year-old brother, do you mean to tell me that the kidnapper seen her, grabs her, but left the 3-year-old brother there? Okay? So the problem that I have with this, no responsible parents allow their 5-year-old, their 3-year-old in a public park just to run off by themselves a long distance away from them while they're sitting in the car when they're that young. You know what I'm saying? If your kid is, 8 to 10 years old, sure. You know what I'm saying? When your kids are 3 to 5 years old, okay, you don't just send them across a big old field. She's sitting in the car. The kids were supposedly playing on the playground. Now, the video clip that I just showed you all, if you could see that playground, first of all, it looks like the parking lot is one way in, one way out. The parking lot is all the way across the field. Next to the parking lot, you have a huge area that is like a basketball court and some other stuff. The playground area was all the way across the field, on the other side of the field. Like, it was quite a distance away from where the parking lot area was. What were you doing in your car so important that you had to sit in your car while you let your 3-year-old and your 5-year-old run to the playground to play by themselves, supposedly, when you didn't have clear visibility, a good eye, a good sight on your children? Okay? This parking lot, like I said, looks to be one way in and one way out. So not only are you sitting in your car a long distance away from your children, where your children were playing, you would have to assume either the person picked up Dulce and walked off with her somewhere else that's out of the sight of that the video clip showed, or that means that they picked up this child and walked to the very parking lot that the mother was parked in, and she did not see this person walk off with their child. Do you understand how far? And I'm just going to show you all this real quick. Hold on, let me get back to the air. Okay, look at this, guys. If y'all can see this, I know I got the camera a ways. No, you can see it clear. Okay, on the left side of the screen, which it would be my left, okay? Let me see if I can back this up a little bit.
5 years old at the top.
Okay, look, on the left side of the screen, that is the only parking lot area to this park, okay? So y'all look over here on this side where my finger is pointed. Right where my finger is pointed, that is the parking lot. That's the only parking lot. Then you see this huge area, this huge blacktop area right here where my finger is pointed. This is a double basketball court, okay? That's the reason why that blacktop is so huge. The playground is way over here, y'all, okay? The parking lot is way over here. The playground is way over here. You understand what I'm saying? And then this area that you see farthest over here, this is a road or some type of road, but as you can see, there's like a bunch of trees and stuff and brush right there. I'm not sure if you can walk through there and get to that road right there. So you would have to assume that either somebody parks over here on this road on the side, walk through the bushes, grabs it, because that's the closest to the playground, okay? Or you would have to assume that somebody grabs her off of the playground, which is right here, and walks all the way back over here to the parking lot where people who were at the park would park at and leave. But the mother didn't see anything, okay? So, and then not only that, she was supposedly playing with her 3-year-old brother. So this person had an eye on her, okay? You didn't take the youngest child, which would have been easy enough to pick up and walk off with quickly. You took a 5-year-old, okay? A 5-year-old can walk and talk on their own and things like that or whatever. So obviously this person was able to walk off with her without her kicking, screaming, yelling, crying for her mommy or anything, just casually, because it got nobody's attention. What were you doing so important in your vehicle that you could not watch your children? There's no way I would let my 3-year-old or my 5-year-old go way over the hell over there, you know what I'm saying, over here to the playground area, because this is the only area over here where the playground is, where the swings and the slides and the monkey bars and all that stuff is for them to play on. They wouldn't have been on the blacktop, you understand me, because they were way too small to be playing basketball or anything. They were way over here at the playground area. But you was in your vehicle so busy that you wasn't even watching them. You wasn't paying attention to them. I'm not sure where you was parked at on the in the parking lot, but you probably didn't have good visibility from your vehicle of them. And your liable was looking in your phone or doing something else, probably that you did not tell authorities that you did not see these children. And then, considering the fact that the 3-year-old was not taken, that means that this 3-year-old, when his sister was taken, just stayed there, playing by himself. So at some point that you get out of your vehicle, goes over to the playground and ask your 3-year-old, oh, hey, where's your sister? What? You should have been out there with them, watching them. Okay, so that was the red flags, y'all, okay? Next thing I want to show you all pertaining to this situation. Look at this woman's face. Hold on, look at her face. First of all, she looked like she's under the influence or something. The eyes are totally spaced out. I can clearly tell from the way she's talking, the way she's looking, the way she's acting, the whole nonchalant attitude about the situation. She is lying. She's lying. Okay? The father is in Mexico, so he was nowhere around when this occurred, when this happened. Okay? So it was the mother who was supposedly out there with them, supposed to have been watching them, but obviously wasn't. You understand? When this little girl came up missing. But I'm telling you all, she is lying. Period, point blank. She is lying. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get into the spirit reading. Let me just show you all
I don't
this.
think that her face would have changed a lot.
We also
Look
showed
at
the
that.
image to the child's grandmother.
Well, I give thanks to the authorities, but that doesn't look anything like my granddaughter.
Back on April 25th.
Okay. So I'm going to get into this spirit reading for Dulce Marie Alavez, okay? Number one, I asked my spirit guides, is Dulce Marie Alavez still alive? My spirit guides tell me yes. Dulce is still alive, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Number two, I asked my spirit guides, was Dulce Marie Alavez purposely left unattended? My spirit guides tell me yes. This is how I know the mother is lying. Well, I know she's lying well before I did this reading, okay? But my spirit guides told me that Dulce was purposely left unattended. Nobody has a kid that young who is a responsible parent and does not keep a good eye on them, okay? My spirit guides told me that the mother purposely left this baby unattended, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. I asked my spirit guides, has Dulce Alavez been hurt or harmed in any way? My spirit guides tell me no. Number four, I asked my spirit guides, was Dulce Alavez kidnapped by a woman or a man? My spirit guides tell me yes, she was kidnapped and she was taken by a man. Number five, I asked my spirit guides, was Dulce Alavez taken for the purposes of human sex trafficking? My spirit guides tell me no. Number six, I asked my spirit guides, has Dulce Alavez been sold? My spirit guides tell me yes. Okay, so she was kidnapped, but she was not taken for the purposes of human sex trafficking. She was not given to a sex trafficker. But she was sold. And my spirit guides told me that she was sold by her mother. I asked my spirit guides on number seven, did Dulce Marie Alavez, guardian, which would be her mother, know that she would be taken when the kidnapper left with her? My spirit guide says yes, this is why she was left unattended. So at this point, guys, you know that she was sold. The mother purposely left her unattended, and my spirit guides are telling me that the mother knew that she was going to be taken on that day. That is why she was left unattended. She was paid for Dulce, okay? It was all set up. It was all planned, okay? Number eight, my spirit guides tell me that the parents, well, I put parents or guardian, but we know now it's the mother. My spirit guides tell me that the mother of Dulce was paid to allow her daughter to be kidnapped and taken. Okay? I asked my spirit guides, has Dulce been sexually abused or molested during this time that she has been missing? My spirit guides tell me no, she has not. Hold on, guys. Let me get my other cards real quick. I'm trying to pull some extra cards while I do this. Okay, so my spirit guides tell me that no, she has not been harmed or hurt in any way. My spirit guides told me that that she has not been sexually abused or molested during the time that she has been missing. At all, okay? She has not been harmed in any way, and this is the reason why I told you all in the beginning, there's a lot of good aspects to this story, but I'm going to tell you why all of this took place in just a minute, okay? My spirit guides told me that Dulce was sold to another family. This was a phony, fraudulent adoption, y'all. This is the reason why Dulce was sold. Her mother could not afford to take care of her, so she sold her. And so now you understand why I was conflicted on whether or not I should do this reading or not. Because like I said, I'm very open-minded, so I understand. And I know a lot of people would say, okay, well, if you couldn't take care of your child and you did not want her, You could have taken her to the police station, to the Department of Human Services, Child Protective Services, a hospital, anywhere with an authority figure that would have took them. That's true. But technically, okay, so by law, you can't sell your child. It's against the law for you to sell your child. The messed up thing about this is if you give up parental rights to your child, they will become the property of state's custody. And then the crazy thing about this is the state would put that child up for adoption, and they would sell the child, and you would not get any benefit from it. The fact of the matter is this woman was she was hard pressed for money. She did not have money. This is the reason why she agreed to sell Dulce to a good family, and they paid her for her. And this other family that Dulce is with has actually been treating her good. I made sure I clarified this over and over and over again. Everything that I could possibly think of in any type of way that she was being tormented or harmed or neglected or abused or molested or beat or just anything. My spirit guides told me no on everything. So this girl is being well taken care of. And it was a phony, shady, under the table adoption. The mother sold her child to another family who wanted a child and paid her for Dulce. This is the reason why I was conflicted, because Dulce is actually in a good place. Dulce is actually being taken care of. She is actually loved with the people that she is with. The only problem here is that Dulce's mother lied to authorities to save her own ass because she sold her daughter. She didn't want to get in trouble for selling her daughter. And that's, in fact, what happened, y'all. Okay? So I asked my spirit guides, is Dulce being treated right with whom she is with? My spirit guides tell me yes. I asked my spirit guides, is Dulce... Or is Dulce with her kidnapper and his family? My spirit guides tell me yes. I asked my spirit guides, is Dulce attending school? My spirit guides tell me yes. I asked my spirit guides, my spirit guides told me that Dulce is with a middle class family. So this is not a family that is poor. They're not necessarily rich, but they are not poor. It is a middle class, hardworking family that have her. My spirit guides tell me that Dulce's real parents sold her because they didn't want her, but they also could not afford to take care of her. They needed the money. And I said parents when I wrote this down, but it was in fact the mother who made this decision because the father was in Mexico, okay? Dulce was, my spirit guides told me that Dulce was sold for $2,000, y'all. Just $2,000. Which kind of boiled my blood as well. So I'm like, whatever, you know? So, my spirit guides also tell me that Dulce's real parents, which is just her mother, okay, sold her to a neighbor. So there was a neighbor that Dulce had at the time. Wherever Dulce and her family lived at the time, they had a neighbor that they sold Dulce to, okay? Now, my spirit guides do tell me that my spirit guides do tell me that this neighbor that they sold Dulce to no longer lives there anymore. So they moved there after this situation. But at the time that this occurred, there was a neighbor family that lived by them that I guess they became friendly with each other or whatever the case may be. And Dulce's mother sold her to that family, okay? Like I said, my spirit guides tell me that Dulce is no longer in New Jersey. However, Dulce is still in the United States, okay? And then my spirit guides, it tells me that Dulce is in the state of California, specifically Los Angeles, California. Okay, hold on just a minute, guys. Give me just a moment. Okay, you guys, I apologize about that. As I was saying, my spirit guides told me that Dulce is in California today, specifically Los Angeles, California. Okay. Also, my spirit guides also told me that Dulce is with an Asian family. And last but not least, when it comes to her schooling, my spirit guides tell me that Dulce is being homeschooled. And I believe this is the reason why she hasn't been seen or found or whatever. Because when my spirit guides told me that she was still in school, I'm like, surely somebody, would have recognized her, by now or whatever. But because of the complexion of her skin and things like that, like, I don't think they're like holding her in the house. They probably go shopping together and this, that, and the other. But she probably looks a lot like, the Asian family that she is currently with or whatever. But they do have her, in homeschool or whatever. I guess they didn't feel comfortable with putting her in public school. Excuse me, guys. I was downloading. Putting her in public school or whatever. So they do have her homeschool. This is it. I'm glad she's okay. I'm glad she's being treated good. And this is why I went back and forth, because obviously the mother needed the money. And, this family, wanted a child and was able to provide and love her, the way she needed to be, so she wouldn't have to struggle or anything or whatever. I suppose the father wasn't paying child support or doing anything to help them out or whatever. And the mother may have just felt, had her back up against the wall where she had to resort to such a thing or whatever. So, yeah, guys, that concludes the reading, the spirit reading for Dulce. So like I said, she is with an Asian family, but my spirit guides are telling me that she is happy, she is well taken care of. She's not being malnourished. She's not being physically, mentally, or emotionally abused. She's not being treated, differently or anything like that. And she is actually, still alive and things like that. And everything that I have gotten from spirit pertaining to this situation tells me that Dulce is actually happy. I'm not sure if she, at 5 years old, you would know who your real mother is. So I'm not really sure, how they explained that to her or whatever. But from what my spirit guides have told me, they've loved her and taken care of her, and they're not abusing her or anything. So I believe that this is something that was told to the police just to, come up with some kind of reasoning, because at 5 years old, she was school age. So she would have had to come up with an explanation as to where her kid was, or whatever. So I feel like that's why she did that. And also, I feel like that, there would have probably been legal repercussions if the authorities would have found out that she sold her kid. So, yeah. So it's just, I'm not really sure how the authorities are going to handle this, what they're going to do. That's like not really my department, but I did ultimately decide, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this reading out because, at least it could give them closure. At least they can, they can at least know, okay, we're not looking for a deceased body. We're not looking for, a child that, is in, some heartbreaking situation where she's been used and abused and, all these things that we normally hear in these other, cases of things that go on or whatever. I'm going to pull a few more cards just to get some further clarification about this. But just to go over the spirit message, the spirit guide messages with you all. Look, I got sunshine, okay? This says new life, fresh start, happiness, joy, fulfillment, new beginnings. The baby is happy where she's at. People on the outside looking in, a lot of times when these things happen or whatever, you don't really know all the information. But considering the fact her mother gave her up willingly and sold her, compared to the situations that we normally see, she's happy. You see that sunshine? She's happy where she's at. She's being treated right. So that's why I say I just don't know if, how the authorities are going to handle this. So then the next spirit guide message I got was happiness, fun, excitement, joy, glad, blessings, laughter, peace. This baby is like happy where she's at. Then I get High Priestess. The spirit guide message, High Priestess. If y'all can see that, it's kind of dim in here tonight. Okay. This talks about the divine, spiritual. The High Priestess has, secret knowledge, secret information, and this is the secret pertaining to this case. The fact that, she was sold to another family because, her mother didn't want her and, needed the money or whatever. This talks about the Most High God being around her. She's protected. She's loved. She's being well taken care of. So, yeah, it's just one of those situations. I don't know what the authorities are going to do if they see this. But like I said, I wanted to put it out just to let them know, you're not looking for someone who is deceased. I got a spirit message. Somebody is watching you. So this may have come out because somebody is watching me. Somebody is watching this video. Y'all know I'm a target. So anything I say or do, they're always watching. In this case, I hope so. So y'all can know what the deal is or whatever. Then I got schemes of teams. But you see this on a yellow card. These are people who came together. So this was probably... Dulce's mother and the grandmother with the neighbors that came together and, came up with the best decision for Dulce. And they were more than willing and able to take care of her. And they were, Dulce's mom and her grandmother were probably in dire need of money, Then I get, loved you yesterday, love you still, always have, and always will. So I feel like that there is still love for Dulce amongst her, her real family. But I feel like this was a decision that they had to make because, maybe the situation they were in, like, I really feel like they were really, they really needed money. And then the last card I got was bankroll. You understand me? They got money. They got paid for this. So although they loved her and although it was heartbreaking unto them to go along with this, they got the money, whatever amount of money that they needed at the time. This middle class family provided it to them and they gave over Dulce for that. And then even at the bottom of the deck here, I have angels. Okay, so clearly, Dulce has angels around her. Okay, so she is being well taken care of. She is loved. She is being protected. She is being treated just as good as, if she were these people's real child. To be quite honest with you. And that's why I was really kind of conflicting about this, because I'm like, this information can make that mother be in trouble because she sold her own daughter, but at the same time, Dulce, like I said, Dulce is happy. She's not being mistreated. It's not like she was sold to a sex trafficker. And if you think about it, if she had just, went to Child Protective Services and signed over her parental rights for this girl, then, the state itself would have literally did the same thing. Put her up for adoption and sold her to the highest bidder. Practically, like, that's what they do to all these people who adopt kids. And it really kind of pisses me off, because more often than not, you have, it's like if the government do something, it's fine. You don't understand what I'm saying? If you do something, it's not okay. And, that's usually the approach with everything. Or a lot of things that goes on in this world or whatever. So of course the mother would be frowned upon because she sold her own child. But if you think about it, if she had have just given her over to the state would have sold her also. A lot of times the government don't really care what you do. I'm gonna tell you what the government is goons. You understand me? They're straight up mobsters and gangsters, like the original gangsters for real. The government has a problem when they can't get a cut. When they can't get they cut out of whatever you making money off of, that's when it becomes a problem for the government. So this is the reason why you have situations like this, where, the law will frown upon you selling your kid to somebody, but you can give your kid to them and they can sell it, keep all the money, the proceeds from, and not give you a dime of it or whatever. Like, that's just how it is. But in this case, I'm really happy that, and I asked, did the mother, was the parents or anything on drugs? Were they, desperate for money for drugs? And this is the reason why they sold her or whatever. And my spirit guides told me no. The mother isn't on drugs. She clearly looked to me like she's kind of zoning, like she's kind of spaced out, almost like a person that's under mind control or something like that. But my spirit guides told me that she did not sell her for drugs or something. I'm not sure if she, the way her eyes were all low, I mean, she could be on an antidepressant. She could be on a sedative. She could be on, something, else like that that's perfectly legal or whatever. I can read people really well. And her body language, first of all, what she was saying, I knew she was lying. The way she looked and, her stance on everything that was happening and was going on and everything, I knew it was something else going on pertaining to the situation or whatever. But yeah. So guys, I'm going to get into this reading really quick. I did pull a tarot portion of cards, okay? Here I have the 9 of Cups, the 10 of Coins, the Ace of Cups, the 7 of Coins, and then the 3 of Swords, okay? And then I have the 2 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, okay? With the 9 of Cups, this talks about wish fulfillment, okay? This lets me know that some type of hope, wish, or dream came true pertaining to this situation, okay? Something that the mother was hoping for, wishing for, needing, striving towards. She needed this money, okay? And that's where this 10 of Coins come in. That her selling this child it made a hope, wish, or dream come true for her because they got a large sum of money. My spirit guides tell me that she got $2,000, but they could have been, been paying her more over time or giving her more, that may have just been like a down payment. And I believe they, yeah, yeah, that's what my spirit guides are saying, because this is a large sum of money. I believe they initially gave her $2,000 and they have been paying her off. And like payments and increments or saying, but she got a large sum of money, and this helps the family extremely. I don't know if they couldn't get regular jobs. Her mother probably can't work anymore. I don't know if Dulce's mother couldn't get employment like that or whatever. But this helped them out a lot because they got a large sum of money for Dulce. Okay, with the Ace of Cups, this talks about emotional fulfillment. Okay, this cup is full, it runneth over. So this talks about, this dream come true for her. Like, this was emotional fulfillment. Like, this brought them, this was what they needed. Okay, when you see this, like, what? A hope or a hope, wish, or dream coming true for you, a large sum of money. The 10 of Pentacles talks about being given money, finding money, being loaned, but winning money. It's just a large sum of money that has been given to you, and it makes you, just imagine how you would feel if you was given a large sum of money right now. Okay, you would be, feeling overwhelmed. Just extreme emotional fulfillment around this large sum of money that they were able to get, which was a dream come true for them. It was exactly what they needed. Now, all of this came about with the 7 of Coins here. This talks about hard work. You see this guy here, he's worn out, he's tired. He's been working his ass off hard, but he's just like, he's passed out here. Can y'all see that? This guy is passed out. There's the 7 of Coins talks about somebody who has been hard at work, who has been trying their best. She had 2 children with her, but so maybe she was working, but maybe they wasn't making enough. And she's got these 2 small kids to take care of. They were barely making ends meet, maybe didn't have enough food, money, or resources or something, and she was working hard. This person is tired. They're worn out. And so that their family made this decision. The decision they made brought some heartache, some heartbreak, some sadness, a loss. You understand me? With the 3 of Swords here, and this heartache, heartbreak, this sadness, this loss was because of this. With the 2 of Swords here, a decision that they made. Okay, but this hard, even though it was hard for them, even though it was heartbreaking for them, this decision made this wish come true with this large sum of money that they got here. And they were, they were full of emotions, so I can't say that the mother was just, I don't want this kid, you want to buy her type of thing. It wasn't like that. This woman was tired. Okay, she was doing it on her own. She was tired. She was overworked. She was underpaid. She was doing it on her own. She was worn out. And as emotional as she was, as heartbreaking as this was for her to make this decision, it enabled this wish come true for them. This large sum of money here. So a sacrifice essentially was made. The sacrifice was for her to give up her kid to get something else that, she really wanted and she really needed. And just so happened, she did it with the right people, because Dulce is with a good family. You don't hardly hear, you don't hear this, okay? You don't hear somebody who was taken that's with a good family and being loved and cared for and is happy and everything. That girl don't want for nothing, my spirit guides are saying. She is very happy, she is very fulfilled. She has everything she needs. She's being taken care of. And the angel message that I have here is forgiveness. The angels are saying, forgive this mother. You understand? Because it was hard for her. This was a hard decision for her. This was heartbreaking for her family. But they made this sacrifice. They made this decision because they were at their wits' end and they were without and they had nowhere to turn. So the angels, Most High is saying, forgive this mother. So for the law enforcement that is listening, Dulce is in a good place. Forgive this mother. you know. And this is the reason why I went back and forth about this. This is one thing that I feel like maybe can be let, you know, you could just let this slide, because, you know, maybe I feel like, you know, a checkup maybe is necessary just to have somebody to find her, just to make sure she is okay. But my spirit guides are telling me that she is. But forgive this mother. I don't necessarily feel like, you know, this wasn't some neglectful, abusive mother that, you know, sold her kid for crack rock. Okay? This broke their heart to do this. This caused them emotional pain. And the only reason, and this wasn't really about, hey, I don't want this kid. Nobody, you know, have a kid, go through the pain of having a kid, wait till they're 5 years old and say, you know what, I don't want you. Because if that was the case, she would have dropped her off at the nearest hospital or the nearest child protective services. But the problem of the situation is they were poor and they were struggling. And she was tired. She was overworked. She was underpaid. And she was struggling to take care of her kids and take care of her mother and everything. And they needed money bad. And if she had have taken her to the Child Protective Services, they would have gladly taken the child. But and then they probably would have investigated her to see, well, if she wants to give up this one, what's going on with the other kid, type of thing. Because that's just what they do. And they would not have paid her when they adopted them out. So she went with the option of selling her own child. But it gave them a lot of emotional pain. It was hard for them to do. It was heartbreaking. It was sad for them. This was really a loss for them, but at the same time, there was a blessing that came through for them because they really needed this money. So the angels are saying, forgive this mother, for she know not what she do. Next here I have medicine man or medicine woman. There's somebody connected to this situation who may be a spiritualist, who may be practice like holistic ways of healing and certain type of practices. Medicine men and women, they do different things or whatever, but they are able to do a lot of different things with healing. I'm not sure if her mother had an illness or something and needed money to pay for treatment or something, and that's why they needed this big lump sum of money. But with this medicine man or woman here, I feel like they were able to get something done. They needed this large sum of money for something, okay? And it's just unfortunately that this is what the situation resorted to. But I believe if the mother, which would be Dulce's grandmother, was sick or something and needed some type of medical treatment, that money was used for that to save her life. And Dulce, in turn, went to a good family that would love her, provide for her, take care of her. Okay, next I have the Three of Raphael. This is reason. It says reasons to celebrate, a community of friends, happy announcements regarding relationships or children. I'm telling you. I have no reason to lie to you. Y'all trust and believe me. Y'all know. Those of you that's watching me and listening to me, look, if I get something else, it don't matter how shady or grimy it is, who it links back to or whatever, I'm going to tell you how it is. You understand me? I'm telling you, this girl is loved where she's at. She's taken care of. You may not like the situation pertaining to how she, the whole shebang, because man hours have been spent on trying to find this child and a false claim of her missing happening and all of that. I get it. But if one is solely concerned on if she's safe, is she being cared for, is she loved, is she happy, she is. And the archangels are even saying so, okay? The guardian angels are saying, forgive this family, okay? The archangels are saying, this is reason to celebrate, okay? We're talking about a community of friends. What was that other card when I said schemes of teams? This meant a community of people. Several people gathered together to make the best decision that they could come up with. This family was willing to take in Dulce and had enough money to pay them the money that they needed to take care of whatever it is that they have taken care of. And if you heard in the clip, this is the reason why when they seen the age progression photos, I believe the family that Dulce is with has continued to communicate with the mother. They know. Ruby, remember in the clip that I showed you when they were like, they still believe that she's alive? They know she's alive. They have seen her recently. They are still in communication with the family, and they know she's okay. They just can't tell you that because you don't know how she became missing in the first place. But I'm telling you, see, happy announcements regarding relationships or children. Okay? So next I have hidden depths, okay? This is a fairies card here. So something hidden is about to come to light. That would be the information that I just gave you because that information was hidden. You all didn't know about that. It says perhaps a secret or memory at the back of one's mind. When we expose what's hidden, we become free. Please forgive this mother. I don't know if my words carry weight with anybody because I'm treated like a nobody, but this secret has brought nothing but heartbreak and pain to that family because they could not tell you all, hey, look, this is what happened. But this secret coming out, the secret that I just told, is going to set them free. Please consider that for those of you who are working this case. And I understand, I haven't been sworn in as anybody detective or anybody who has the final say on anything or whatever. But if there were ever a time, if there was ever a time, this would be it, okay? Next here I have balance, okay? This is number 3. This is from my Earth deck, okay? So we have balance here. There was balance that was brought to the situation. You see how you have the light and the dark, the yin and the yang. You have the sun on one side and the moon on the other side, the light and the dark, and it balanced out, okay? So one may see is, oh my God, she sold her child. Oh my God, she lied about what really happened. But on the light side of the situation, Dulce is happy. Dulce has been taken care of. The family got the money that they needed to pay for the grandmother's medical bills or whatever else that they needed help with, okay? Balance talks about light and dark, sun and moon, earth and sky. The earth is always in balance. Opposites work together towards the same goal, ebbing and flowing in a way that supports the well-being of our world. In the same way, the higher self and the ego are the balancing forces in the soul's ecosystem. Their methods may be different, but they are always seeking to bring you harmony and happiness. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful, y'all. I mean, it like explains it all pertaining to this situation. Like, this wasn't done out of evilness, out of malice, or anything like that. So next here, I pulled another earth message, okay? This is number 35. It's called Spiritual Journey. And I believe that's what, Dulce got. She got a new lease on life. This could have been a way worse situation. So this was like a spiritual journey of sorts for her. And this spiritual journey card, it says, a spiritual journey is a lifelong process that will never truly be complete. There is this expectation to find one's life purpose that will satisfy you until you transcend this earth. But that is rarely the case. It is a constant dance between finding who you are and directing that self actualization towards a higher purpose. What was true for you once may ebb and flow like the tide into something new and better, suited to who you are right now. And I believe that, this is what has happened for Dulce. This is what has happened for Dulce. She has an even better life, and it's not to say that her real family did not love her or care about her. That is not what I'm saying at all, because I actually believe that they do. I believe that the family that she is with now was better off financially and able to provide her more than what she would have had, which opens up new opportunities for her that she may have never had before. Okay, so that's what this spiritual journey is talking about. Okay, next we have here number 10. This card is called Red. It says forgive. Okay, again, another forgiveness card. The spirit guides are saying forgive this family, forgive the mother. Okay, this, like I said, this was not done out of malice, out of evil intent, to cause anyone harm. And I'm sure that the authorities would not take a liking to being lied to, would not take a liking to have used, man hours researching this case and this situation and different things like that or whatever. But you all should be able to appreciate that this baby is safe and sound. She is well taken care of. She is loved. And I believe that the family that she is with now still allows her to communicate. Yeah, I believe the family that she is with now still allows her to communicate with her real family. And this is how they are so sure in knowing that she's still alive, because they know she is. They just could not tell you how they knew that. Okay? Okay, guys. Well, that concludes the reading for Dulce Maria Alavez. Okay? I thank each and every last one of you for watching, for listening, for visiting my channel. If you would please like, share, and subscribe. If any of you would like to reach me with any ideas on topics you would like for me to talk about, for any missing mystery ideas or murder mystery ideas that you would like for me to do a reading on, you can contact me through the comment section, or you can do so by emailing me at tiffanyziegler60@gmail.com. If any of you would like to donate to the channel, you can feel free to do so at Cash App or through Cash App, and it's $TiffDiamond36. That will be greatly, greatly appreciated. And I thank you with every fiber of my being. You guys, I wish each and every last one of you well. Of course, I always wish you all peace, love, and light. You all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. But most of all, take care of your babies. Okay? And until the next time, namaste.